Good morning. Welcome to today's videos. For this Thursday's business video on Faithspring, I want to talk to you about one book I think every Christian entrepreneur should read. And this is, whether you start your own business, whether you're an author, or whether you're just in the business world and want to know how to apply Christian principles to what you're doing in a better, more ingrained way. And so I picked up this book probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just been it's been an amazing tool ever since then. I pick it up every now and then and just flip through, read my notes again. I think some of the principles in it are just so core, and they help me, translate some of the other business things I'm learning into a Christian means of communicating them and applying them. So I'm going to show you the book, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think it's so helpful and so useful. And then, below the video, there'll be a link right to it. It's a bit of an older book, but you can still find it used on Amazon and a lot of places, all right? So the book is called, you see that? Faith-Based Marketing. And now this is it was written by 2 business owners. These 2 people started marketing agencies and publishing houses themselves, and then later on focused on the Christian market. And this book is kind of a conglomeration of their wisdom. So, both of the authors in this have successful businesses under their belt, have been Christians for their entire lives, and now bringing it together, they present something really useful, something that a lot of Christian business books, just miss, is that to be a Christian in business still means to be in business. It doesn't mean that God steps in and changes all the rules. It means He wants you to approach it in some different ways, but there are still some core business insights that you have to have down if you're going to succeed in that realm. So 5 of the things I found very useful, and I think you would find useful in this book. The first one is that there is actually a chart. There's a few charts that break down the different groups of Christians. So I'll just give you a little preview, see what it said. What do we mean when we say Christian? Because there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have at least 10 listed on here. But when we say Christian, we're talking about something very broad. We're talking about everything from Catholicism to Pentecostalism, whether we're talking about American Christianity or, developing countries and what that faith looks like over there. We're talking about historical fundamentalism versus, emerging beliefs and, the new church, as we would call it. And so there's such a large swath. And so if you are a Christian in business, you have to understand where you fit in the bigger picture, but also understand where your audience fits. Where is your customer? What context are they coming from? And how can you speak to them and meet them where they're at? So that is the first thing. It helps you define what a Christian is and help you define your Christian audience in a better, deeper sense. All right, second thing that I think is super helpful is that it really separates how to market to a congregant, which is, someone in the pew, someone in the seats, versus how to market to a pastor. Because when you're marketing to whether you're marketing to a church as I want to talk to the people in the seats because this will help them, or I want to market to a church because this will help the pastor do his job better or serve the church better, so on and so forth. And so it really breaks down. They have a few sections like influencing pastors. Where are pastors meeting? What are pastors reading? What are they thinking? What problems are they facing? How does that differ from the average Christian? And how can you modify your message, modify your offering, modify your service so that you can meet them better also? So yeah, second thing is it helps you break down and differentiate between the congregants and the pastors and what you need to do differently for each. All right. Third thing, which I find really interesting just because of the way I am, they actually have a brief history of Christian marketing. Trying to find an example in here, but they go through and pick up some really cool examples of what has been done over the last 100, 200 years. Here's one of the pictures they show. What has been the standard for Christian marketing, what was handed out, We can talk about how pamphlets came about, what that was meant to do and accomplish, and now what's the modern day version of that. And so when you have that historical context of what marketing looked like for churches, in churches, to churches, then we can fast forward today and be like, okay, that's why they do that thing, or that's why they don't do that thing, because this is some of the background that influences how they understand blank. I think one weakness of the book, if I could say that, is that it was written, probably 10, 15 years ago. And so there is, about 10 years ago, there was a good amount talking about the web, but not so much social media. So this book definitely can communicate on some basics of website communication, but as far as marketing through social media, that is not a strong point of this book, so I will say that. Okay, number 4, they offer some theological study on marketing principles, and that's something I talked about at the beginning of the video. But they do a good job. They think through what they're doing. They think through how they're wording their messages, but also the why behind that. Because marketing at its core is influence, and so when you are marketing, you are intentionally trying to influence other people to do something, and with that comes a great responsibility to make sure you are, using that for good, using that power and that ability and that gifting for good. So make sure that when you are thinking through how to market what you are doing, that you are doing so in a theologically informed way. Am I upholding my Christian principles in the way I'm conducting business, but in also the way I am sharing this business and trying to grow this business? All right, last but not least, is at the end of the book, they have a really useful index. And now, obviously it's 10 years old, so not everything is going to be up to date and really as accurate as, something that you pick up like the, Christian book marketing books that come out every year. But they have like a parachurch and ministry organization with a contact person in a lot of cases, an email, a website, a little brief summary of what they do and what they're looking for. It's really awesome. They cover a really wide swath of people in different organizations. They have a ton on, a lot of nonprofit stuff, but also publishing, some large church organizations that you would want to get in touch with, Christian retailers. Like, they offer a lot of value in this book. It's just a nice resource to have, especially if you are a Christian in business. This is something that needs to be on your bookshelf, because the information inside of it is just, you could probably find everything that is in here, but it would take you looking through 200 different sources to find that. But they put everything in one place, in one solid, book. I would love for them to come out with a newer edition, a 2018, a 2019 edition, and update some of the stuff. But the greatest marketing books are ones that stand on unchanging principles, and I think that's one of the strong points of this book, is that a lot of the stuff they teach in here is not going to change in the next 10, 50, 100 years. It is the core of what it means to be a good marketer, but also the core of what it means to be a good Christian, and how those can meet in the middle so that you can experience the success you want to have, but also, fulfill, in the way I think of it, fulfill the calling you're called to. Because part of the if you are the best at what you do, if you are the best at treating a disease, the best at cooking a meal, the best at writing a poem, then it is also part of your duty to share that with people and to make sure that you are getting your gift out there. I think one of my favorite quotes, I wish I could remember who said it, I'll look it up one day. But anyways, it was about, auditioning and actors and musicians and stuff. And a younger actor was talking to an older actor and talking about how she's so frustrated because she just wants to do the acting. She's going through all these auditions and staying up late applying to all these things, calling all these people on phones. Like, there's all this hustle, all this movement, just so that she can actually do the thing she loves, so that she can do the acting, so that she can do, you know, the gifting that she wants to do. And I love this because the older person, the person who had been in the business for 30, 40 years, looks at her and says, the hustle is the work. You see, the part we want to do, the part we're gifted at, that is a joy that re-energizes us so that we can do the work that it takes to be able to get to that. The hustle is the work. All that pre-part, all that marketing of the book you want people to read, all that, you know, trying to advertise so people can come to your new restaurant, all of that leading up to is the work. It is so that you can do the gifting. And so it's all part of it. So when you are, you know, being so burdened, like, oh, I'm just so exhausted, I just want to do the thing I'm good at, it's all one package. It all comes together. And so thinking through how you market what you do in a faith-based way, that's the work. That's learning how to do the work better so that you can do the work you want to do with excellence to an audience that, you know, is sustainable and large and appreciates what you're doing. All right, so that is my rant for Thursday, faith-based marketing. I'll have a link in the description below. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching another video, and I just pray you have a blessed day. All right, talk to you later. Bye.